Beard.
What?
Like when I'm looking at you, there's a big question mark
Oh,
in the
oh,
screen.
oh no, that's the background. That's the LeBron James second decision picture. We gonna try
Ah,
to we
gotcha.
gonna, we gonna try to cover that too. I ain't gonna lie. There isn't a lot of basketball stuff out there yet, but I do know that the season is going to start. So
Right,
that's when we pretty much gonna cut it in for more juicy, big topics.
right.
But
But let's do what we're gonna do. Make it. We ain't got to be a long session. Let's make it a quick, short one.
yeah, that's all that is. 'Cause you already
Yeah.
know
Football season. We in football season now, so let's get it.
ah,
Bills don't play till tomorrow.
yep. You know
They
what
play
time
Monday
it
night.
is. Basketball finale, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back like we never left. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done one of these. Been a few months right now. But I told you guys over on TikTok Live. I got a chance to speak with my fans on TikTok who watches basketball. I got a chance to let them know that I will be coming back shortly to do a live video of the podcast of Basketball Knowledge. And here we are. We're back.
Let's go. What season is this? What season we in now? Season 2? It's season 2? Season 2 for us.
Yeah, season 2 for us right now. Season 2. Right now we're gonna be entering the NBA 2026 season. As you can tell, a lot has happened as far as trades, as far as commotions outside of the NBA, but different players individually, and we will get into that. The best as we can as possible. If we cannot cover as much as we want to, we will save that for the next episode next Sunday. And then hopefully we'll have more time that Sunday to recover the rest. But other than that, stay tuned. Man.
We'll have more people next Sunday. I'll have a guest on here. We'll report next Sunday.
Yep, we will have more. Hopefully we can get CP on here so he can say his piece on what he thinks about what's been going on.
Right.
But
the closer we get to basketball season, more people jump on.
Exactly. Definitely want to grow the channel a little bit more so we can start getting numbers rising up. But
Man,
I'm your co-host Aramis.
I'm Ray Daniels.
And let's get right into it, man. You know what it is.
Let's go. Season 2, baby. Let's go. Season 2.
Season 2. All right. So we both know a lot has happened throughout the few months so far. One thing that really kind of put me on the edge was the LeBron James second decision making. Now, a lot of people were really, on thin ice, on edge when they heard about his little second decision. Because they thought maybe he was either going to retire or he was going to do
which is coming.
Which is coming.
But this may be his last season. Trust me.
Exactly. But I kind of want your input on because that second decision was a ad proposal or something like that, like a Hennessy ad proposal. So
yes, great marketing. He used the platform that he did because he has so much success with so much people that following him when he made the move the first time, when he used the media platform instead of just announcing it, and the drama buildup when he went to Miami. That's the first time it happened. He announced his trade. So this time he used the same platform, which was good. And then, of course, because everybody looked at the dynamics of what happened the first time, they figured it was a basketball announcement or something to do with basketball. And then in all actuality, even you and all of the LeBron James fans and all of the media thought that it would be something similar. And the only thing you could think of was an retirement because even though the Bus family having some issues with, so they sold the team. I think the LA got a new owner, correct, or something like that. And
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
yeah,
LA got a new owner. I just can't. I wonder if I gotta say it in my notes. I think because
yeah, they got a new owner out from when I, and again, me, I'm not the research. You're the numbers and research guy. I just remember
yeah,
hearing something in the platform of the media that they got a new owner and that LeBron wouldn't have as much latitude with
yeah,
making decisions,
yeah,
like he's had in the past. So with that being said, the hype or the undertow of the hype was that maybe that this would be a decision that you don't know, maybe a retirement, maybe he's going to another team. You don't know what it is. Plus you
Mhm.
have all these media people and conspiracy theory people, me included, that this could be this or that. But basically, it was a great promotion thing where he introduced his fans and following that he's to endorse his new product, the 21 and over crowd, which was the endorsement of Hennessy VSOP.
Mhm. Yeah, because
Great, great, great. If you don't drink, it's a great liquor. I mean, it's one of the
yeah, I
classic.
tried it before. It's a really good drink. It's just
It's, a,
I'm
it's,
not. I'm not.
it's top shelf. That's the top shelf liquor.
I'm,
Anything VS is the first level, and then VSOP would be the next level up, and then you have another two.
yeah.
XO is the next level behind after that. So some XO drinks like Louis the Fifth or Louis the Eighth, different ones. That's the higher XO version can go as high as like $2,000 a bottle.
Yeah. I mean, because when I first saw that, and this is just how I can feel about the situation because we all know that LeBron is falling towards his peak of ending his career. For as much as he done for the NBA
Mm-hmm.
and as much as he done, in his whole entire career. I mean,
How old is LeBron now? 41?
man,
41?
the man's 41. He's gonna be 42 this.
So let me ask you a question. He's about to be 42 years old. He's starting his 21st season. What season he's going to? 22nd?
I think this is 20. No, I think this is 23rd season.
23rd season going into.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you and the audience.
Mm-hmm.
What do you rate LeBron right now? Is LeBron top 10 in the league right now? Going into season 23, is he top 10? And be honest, don't be judgmental because he's your favorite player. If you had to go from a stats perspective, and you're a stats guy here, Miss, and any of the fans, is LeBron top 10? And one stat, let me just throw this one tidbit out there. One stat that's not in the numbers is veteranism and experience. Those aren't in the numbers. So please add that into the equation of making that decision. Go ahead.
Well, if we're bringing veterism and if we're bringing the him being a veteran and him playing the game for years and
Yep,
having
knowledge.
a lot of Hall of Fame careers as far as 2014, 2018, 2016. A lot of his careers on 2020 that I've run. COVID year, that was another Hall of Fame run. So
Mm-hmm.
like he's had a lot of a lot of fewer Hall of Fame careers than than any other player in the league has had, and he's came out on top each time, and the numbers don't lie. He's been number one in every single category as far as scoring. Like he became the number one all time scorer. He became the number one all time just in any category to be honest. So I mean he's definitely top five. If you're going veteran,
Not on stats. I'm talking about current.
current, yeah, he's
I
top
didn't say
five.
stat. I'm like currently. Okay, so let me
He's
give
top
you a
five.
better evaluation. So let's take the All-Star games. That's based on the fans' picks, correct?
All-Star games.
So no, no, so he's been in the All-Star game every year for the last 20 years. Okay, we get
Oh
it.
yeah, he's
So
never.
so now with that, what the question I might pose to you is, so last year and then going into this year, if the top five players started according to the fans on each team. So now that's by votes. So votes can be skirted because of popularity and all that. But like I said, the wild card would be experience and basketball knowledge. So
Exactly.
with that being said, going into the 2025-2026 season, with All-Star bidding coming up and all that, that's all going to be in the February timeframe. Would you project LeBron to be, if you had to have a platform of the All-Star game, which is the best of everybody and all that, does LeBron make the starting lineup this year? That would be a better question because it's two
Who?
teams and that
That's
means you have the top 10 will start, the top five, starting five on each side conference. Do you think LeBron will be a starter in this upcoming season? Because that will determine whether he's top 10 or not based on the fans voting. Does he start or does he come off the bench in season 23?
I think is I think it's LeBron at this situation because I mean he always gets the highest vote regarding regarding who he is and regarding I mean anyway it's LeBron why would you not want to start LeBron as an All Star? I'm sure as the fans that they're upping his vote for him to be the starter. So, but this year's
So are you saying that he's going to be carried because of his legacy to implemented into that starting role, or is it going to be because he's truly still top 10? That is the question. Because of course his legacy is unheralded. He's top. He has
Mhm.
the he's already in the conversation with old school and new school far as to go with Michael Jordan, who is the greatest of all time. Based on instinct and all that, and then we know that the person who has the most rings, period, would be Bill Russell. So we already know all that. We're not going to get back into that. But I'm just saying, so are you telling me that he's going to make the starting five on either, in his conference in the West Coast because of his previous accolades? Or will it be because his actual top 10 for his performance and play and level of play in this season?
I, I would
Provided he
think
don't get hurt. Provided he don't get hurt.
I would well it would have to because the way how it initially goes is the way how your performances of regarding the season. So I would say it'd be his top 10 going into the season because
Okay.
right now everything is fresh. Everything is fresh. You walk into this brand new. Every season is brand new. So what it takes is you know, how long can you progress being this good? How long can you progress putting up these tremendous numbers and how good you play being a top 10 player coming into the new season. It's the same thing with KD, starting. It's the same with Curry starting. Same with James Harden starting. It's the same thing with all these vets who are getting a chance to be in there. Kyrie hasn't had a chance to be in there yet. Curry, is at that point where he's nearly, not becoming a starter. He got lucky to be in as a starter last season's All Star. LeBron didn't be an All Star last year because I think he was hurt, so he
Yeah,
didn't.
but hurt. I mean, bar hurt. And again, that's you
Yeah, so
can't
that's
can't do it because he hurt. Just
well,
like Steph was hurt.
but he was a starter for last year. I'm gonna give you that
Uh,
he was a starter, but somebody had to take his place just
right,
because.
because of injury, and
Yeah,
and rightfully so. Okay, so all right, so that's fair.
yeah.
So we're basically going to say that because of his accolades and legacy and who he is, and he still plays at a high level. No disrespect, LeBron is still that guy. You feel that with all of that and history of who he is going to catapult him to start lineup, which is a fair analysis. All right, so then let me move the question on to this part. The second
Okay.
part of the question would be, all right, so would that be the case? Honestly, what do you think that you would say LeBron would average this year? Do you
Mm.
think he's going to average a triple double, double double, and then within that, what's the points and assist and rebounds you think he'll average for the year? So I'll go first. I think LeBron this year is going to average about 16, 9, and 4.
69-4. Yeah,
Average.
I mean that seems definitely around the same amount that I was probably gonna go for, but I probably wouldn't go for a 16.
No, what you
mine
got?
mine was like mine was like a little higher. I probably say about at least 20, like around the 20 points per game.
Okay.
As far as rebounds, he does he like before they even had a Sarah, LeBron was, one to grab the boards a lot. So I'll probably say about 10
Now remember
rebounds.
they got the boy this year from what's the boy they got? Not
DeAndre
Oldham.
Ayton.
Aiden, yeah. So remember now that's
Yeah, so
that's
now,
that's a, that's a good move because now they remember we had this
right.
conversation last year with saying get Dwight Howard because they didn't have
Oh
a true
yeah.
big.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yep. If
Yeah.
you
So
guys
now
haven't
they
seen
got a
that
true
video, go
big.
look at that video. If you haven't seen it, go look at that because Ray he made a valid point. Because the Lakers had to make a move, to see like as far as center wise, because mind you, they was going for Mark Williams before. Remember we had that conversation about them having Mark Williams, and
Right.
then they ended up putting him back because he didn't pass the physical test, so he was so they put him back. But now you have a
Yeah, the
chance
guy from
to have
Charlotte. Yeah.
right now you have a chance to
But
have
look, but
a
look
center.
what happened. They got ousted in the second round because no center.
Exactly. But then you end up getting DeAndre Ayton, which is a really good
Great
pick.
move.
I love
He's
that.
not. He's not. DeAndre ain't gonna give you a double double every game.
hmm So
He'll get you about, and because he's a big and he's a big tall dude. I think how tall is DeAndre? 7 footer. Biggest big tall guy. I think he's like
he
7 foot, right? 7'1", something like that.
he's really he's tall. But
But
I
I
think
think that he gonna get at least DeAndre gonna give me. I think he's gonna bring to that team uh, 10 and 15.
DeAndre Ayton he's a 7 footer.
Yeah, 10 and 15. I give him, but that's a solid pick because remember we had this conversation in season one, and we were saying that when they was able to get Luca, which is oh my god, that's the next. For all you LeBron fans, be ready to become Luca fans if that's what it is. Just putting y'all on notice because LeBron is going to take the super back seat to him this year,
So
and I think that with the addition of the center, it's going to take a lot of pressure where LeBron can kind of freelance, and do what he need to do. And so, with that being said, I think that it's not going to be so creditable or so not credible. It's credible is the word. But it's not going to be so much as a need for him
yeah,
to really focus on. Damn, I got to get a rebound and I got to score. So it frees him up, which is good for the organization. That's a great move because we tried to say that last year. When it comes
mhm.
down to championship minutes, he don't need to be wore out because he did so much just to get you there.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at this right now. Like as we pulled up DeAndre Ayton's height, I'm looking at his wingspan, and if you go to LeBron and Rui Hachimuro's wingspans too, um, Ayton's wingspan is 7'6". LeBron's, and mind you, LeBron is just he's got a 7 wingspan, 7'0" wingspan, and Rui's got a 7'2" wingspan. So not only that, but he has the longest wingspan on that team. So he's the only center on the team who is 7 foot with a 7'6" wingspan on that team as we're speaking right now. And I feel and that goes with your statement, as far as him getting a double double, and that's facts because when he played with the Suns, he was getting double doubles over there, and then when he was playing with the Blazers, he was getting double doubles over there too. It's just
Yeah, that's what he do. That's what
yeah,
he do.
but
Now, do you, the problem with him is, well, that's the problem because everybody plays his role.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a Kareem. He not a Kareem or,
Yeah, no.
one of those players where you could say, hey, I can give it, we can go through him and he gonna make sure he give us 20, 15 and, 3 or whatever. He's not gonna give you a consistent dose of 20 plus point games through his career. I
Yeah.
mean, through the season. Not gonna do that. You know what I mean? He could, but at the end of the day, that's not what he's more of a rim protector, rebound guy, defensive presence, that kind of thing. And then, if he gets something in around close, he's so tall that, of course, he can clean up very easy, is what I should say. He'd be able to clean up anything. If they don't have the right person to push him out, and from a defensive perspective, he'll might go in and have a big game like that. But if they focus in and put a lot of bodies around him and all that kind of stuff, that's not what he's known for doing. So that's why I was saying that, you know, now you look at the LeBron thing, it's going to take some things away from the situation where LeBron don't have to run down there because I'm looking at Luka, will you go get it or I go get it because nobody else in there is getting it done. And then that's why they got an early outing in the playoffs. So this year, I think that, barring no injuries, LeBron is definitely not going to be the number one guy on the team. We already know Luka's going to be the guy. So if you LeBron fans are going to be mad about that, trust me, he's not going to be the number one. He might slide down to the 3-person. I mean, far as top person on the team. And if he does, that's fine. The man's 41. Really and truly, anybody else, if it wasn't for LeBron's, you know, um, athleticism and his, where he's at in stamina and health wise, for where he has as body wise at 41, the average 41-year-old in the league would be coming off the bench. We're not going to have that story because we had that in season 1 where how's LeBron in this kind of shape? We're not going to cover that. We covered that in season 1. Go check that video out.
Yeah, go check that one out.
Yeah, we talked about that. And, my conspiracy is that what is he taking? But regardless, whatever he doing, it's still legal because nothing deemed to come up where it was illegal use. So I can't really say because if you taking drugs that says this accepted by the NBA or not, it just depends on if it's on the list. But we do know kudos to LeBron because he's found a remedy and a solution that works for him, and it's not been better than legal. So we can't necessarily say that he's using legal substance because everybody uses supplements. Everybody uses vitamins. Everybody uses, stuff to rebuild your muscles, tear it down. There's lots of stuff that you can get it to GNC and different things to say that you're doing stuff for health and wellness of your body. So is LeBron taking something? Absolutely. Is it negative that it's illegal? Absolutely not, or at least it's not been deemed yet. Good for him. So whatever he's doing, again, I would say that everybody need to get on board because here's a guy that puts in, and what did he says, Aaron? He puts in $1 million every year and invest into his body.
Yeah. He said he puts in like roughly around $1 million, just try to keep his body in shape, as far as workouts and everything else. So I'm like when he's saying he's putting in $1 million, you can't. You can sum it up as to what he could be doing to his body to keep him how he is in shape and to, ignore the injuries on what can be inflicted on his body. Like, he may have an injury, but it won't be for long. It'll probably give him like a week and a half and he'll be back.
Right.
So because think about it, like he's had injuries before, right? But if you look back throughout the years of him having injuries, you can tell that none of the injuries has ever been a season ending. He's never had a season ending injury. So us as fans of the NBA and us as a podcast host, we're telling the fans like you have to accept what LeBron is doing. Like you have to say that LeBron is doing something to keep his body how it is, because I'm sure Michael. I'm sure about Michael Jordan. I'm sure he's probably had a season ending before.
Mike Jordan went out. He went out a couple games, but I don't remember where. And
Looking
you can
like
do a fact. You can do a fact check. I don't think he had a ACL season injury.
okay.
Season-ending injury. You can do a fact check on Michael Jordan's season-ending injuries. I don't think he had one. I know he got hurt, and even one time he played, he scored 30, almost 40 points with the flu and all that. But I can't recall, and I may be wrong, but I can't recall him having a season-ending injury. And then that's a credit to LeBron and those players who invest in your body, because it goes back to the old saying, proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. So he's investing, he's doing the things that he's supposed to, you know, um, and a lot of it is just sometimes it's just luck too. Just lucky you didn't put yourself in
Mhm.
a situation and different things. Look at Kobe. Kobe was, again, Kobe is the second coming to Michael Jordan. Arguably,
Yeah.
in some people's mind, they could say Kobe is better than LeBron, because at one point they were going to pit LeBron against Kobe when LeBron was coming into his era, and they passed the torch over to Kobe because Michael Jordan was gone, and it was Kobe's league forever. That's why you have Kobe where he is now. And they gave him the Black Mamba. So again, when you look at old school, new school, and people forget about Kobe, or they don't forget about Kobe. It's just Kobe is Kobe. But at the end of the day, if we had a podcast and put it out to our fans right now, some people could say technically, Kobe can compete to say he was better than LeBron. It just depends on what's the matrix. Because if you want to go championships, Kobe can match him. Kobe, well, how many Kobe got? 3, 4? How many LeBron got? 5?
The 4.
LeBron got 4. How many Kobe got?
He got 5, right?
Something 4 or 5. But you see what I'm saying? Because if we want to base it on championships, then Kobe got more, just as much. You know what I mean? And then here we go. Now, does Kobe have all the records that LeBron has? No. Kobe and LeBron are very similar players, because Kobe played straight out of high school and so did LeBron. So now you have two players that you can actually evaluate the metrics on the same level. And I think LeBron played a little longer than Kobe because he's still playing. So LeBron beat him in that area. But then if you want to go accolades for stats, and amateur stats guy, here we go. So those are two players that you can put who had the equal platform, because a lot of people don't say it's fair to compare LeBron to other players because LeBron was playing so long, because he never played in college, which is an accolade to him. He was able to come out straight out of high school. So now if you look at all the people who was able to come out straight out of high school, that's a short list. You had Kobe came straight out of high school. You had Kevin Garnett came out of high school. You had LeBron James come out of high school. If you pull up the list, Moses Malone came out of high school. So there's a very short list of people who came straight out of high school, and who there was a lot more than that. But some people came out of high school and was a bust. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about the prominent ones.
Yep.
So if you look at that on that platform alone, how that would be the most fairest comparison to say, well, that because it takes the narrative out, oh, LeBron played more years. He's at year 23 because he missed 4 years of college. So if you take the college years out, back in the day, before they even put one and done, back in the day when Magic and Jordan, Jordan and all them, you had to at least go 3 years. It was mandatory by the league.
Okay.
Couldn't come out. It was not allowed. Not just like right now, no college player can go into the NFL draft and say, hey, I'm going straight out of high school. It's never been done, nor as a freshman. Because right now in the league, even in college basketball, you can go as your freshman year and then leave.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I've never seen like I never thought it was possible for players to warp out of high school and go straight into the league and just like
and dominate.
Exactly, and then just dominate because you didn't give the whole list, but I'm sure there's probably a few who have done it besides Kobe, LeBron, and
Bro, pull it up. Look it up right now. Players that went to the NBA straight out of high school. I promise you that list can't be no more than about maybe 15. And out of them 15, 6 or 7 of them was a wash.
Okay.
And then out of them, you probably had about 8, I would say 8 to 10 that had a decent, I would say 4 that had a decent season. And out of them, you got about 5 of them that was they were very instrumental in the NBA because they became pillars like LeBron, like Kobe, like Kevin Garnett, and Moses Malone. Look up those four right there alone are all stars in the league and came out of high school.
Okay, so we got notable players who entered the NBA from high school. Of course, that we just talked about. It's Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Garnett, Dwight Howard, Tracy McGrady, Jermaine O'Neal,
hmm
Amari Stoudemire,
hmm
Moses Malone, and Daryl Dawkins.
Okay, so stop right there. How many is that? Eight? Like I said, about eight or so.
About 8, yeah.
About eight. And if you put that list in order, all of those are all stars, straight out of high school.
Oh yeah.
All of them was all stars, straight out of high school. Monty Stoudemire, I forgot about them. I didn't even mention them. But if you put them in a pecking order, the top two people on that list would be LeBron and Kobe.
Exactly, because Tracy McGrady was drafted in 1997. Dwight was 04. Kevin Garnett was 1995. LeBron was 03. Kobe was 1996. Jermaine was 1996. Amir was 02.
What was Moses Malone?
Moses Malone. It's not showing his, but I can look it up.
So when you look up this, Aramis, and this is good information for our fans and podcast followers and viewers. At one time, you could never go straight from college. That's why you see all those numbers are 1990 and going forward. Look how many people start jumping in 1995, 1996, and so on and so forth. You're not going to see too many people early 90s, 80s. I think Moses Malone might have been the first one. Be honest, I might be wrong, but he might be the first one ever.
Because I think it was 1994.
Moses Malone, no, he was way before that.
Oh, before, okay.
Yeah, Moses Malone was in the 80s. He played with Dr. J and all of them.
Oh, okay. So let me.
Yeah, he played in the Magic era. I mean, Magic, Kobe. He played in the Magic, Larry Bird era. Magic and Larry Bird came into the NBA in 1980. Look up the Moses Malone career. And I think that how Moses Malone got in because he went to the NBA and filed a hardship because he was saying that his family was poor, and because his draft stock was so high that he got permission as one of the few people because he filed a hardship because he came out of a very poverty family or something like that, and they granted him that. So if you look him up, he was the very first one. Then that's why what you hear now for all of the old school people are used to people going to college. Even Jordan went to North Carolina for 3 years, played under Dean Smith, won a title there and all of that. But at the end of the day, you wasn't allowed to play that long. So that's why the numbers that people have, old school people kind of, I ain't gonna say they look down on LeBron, but they just say, hey, the numbers are inflated because you didn't play college. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm okay. This is like I heard Moses Malone left high school in 1974 to turn professional, becoming the first modern basketball player to be drafted directly from high school at a pro league. He was selected by the Utah Stars of the American Basketball Association, ABA. And that's what you were telling me about.
Yep.
He was the first high school athlete to turn pro without attending college. A move that was uncommon at that time. Malone graduated from Petersburg High School in Virginia in 1974. The same year he was drafted. He signed a 5-year contract with the U.S. Stars, which was reported to be worth $1 million.
There you go, 1974. And then he was the very first person. And now look at that list. Everybody else started coming in bunches in what, the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So you see what I'm saying? So now let's look at this. And I know I'm switching gears off LeBron, but look how good Moses Malone would have had that been in 1974 to be allowed as the first player ever. You know how dominant he was? Had to be. He was a man playing amongst boys. 1974. Now that goes around my age now. And that's how I remember. I don't remember, I was, me and him roughly around the same age, but at the end of the day, when I started following basketball, Moses Malone won his first, he played in the ABA, just like Dr. J and them. And then when the NBA started seeing that the ABA was getting too much traction, they bought him out. They bought him out and merged. They say it was a merge, but basically, remember when I told you, y'all check the podcast again for season 1. We had another one where remember Aramis, I told you, big bank take little bank.
Yeah, and
And
for the fans who can't find it, I will repost that. It is a clip of that too. I will find that clip and I will repost it to you guys.
yeah,
Matter of fact,
I think the big bank little bank clip was when we were talking about uh Luca when he left Dallas to go
yeah,
to the Lakers. Big bank take little bank.
yep. I will. So what I'll do is for you guys, as far as the fans who watches us, I will make a folder and put all of these season 1 episodes in one folder, and I'll put that into episodes where you guys can just watch those. From watch all of season 1, and then this is the new beginning of season 2. So this is the fresh new start. This is the fresh video.
Right.
So you right now whoever is viewing this, you are viewing season 2. This is season 2.
Season 2. Moses Malone is credited as the pioneer who paved the way for outstanding players like the ones we just mentioned, a Kobe, a LeBron, to even have the opportunity to do it because he filed a hardship and was saying that, he came out of Virginia. That's good. I know he came out of Virginia, so that was good. That was good research there, Aaron. I appreciate that because it helps me to even know further when I try to explain things. That's why I always say you're the information guy and the numbers guy because you take the time out and fact check these things, and you can see that when you do the fact checks that you're learning and I'm learning because I learned the new school, you learn the old school, but with us fact checking, it makes these points that we're making on here valid.
Right, because and that's just part of the show. I mean, you guys see the name of the podcast. It's called Bass with Truth and Knowledge, but the key word in that name is called truth, and then the second one is called knowledge. Mm-hmm. So basically, what that is that when it comes to the truth, we gotta have facts to prove it.
Yep, gotta back it up.
We're not just sitting on our asses and then just just saying God knows what when you're saying whatever, and then people are like, whoa, that ain't right. Oh, what you mean it ain't right? See, right. And that's why when you're starting a podcast and you're just saying whatever, you gotta have something to back it up. Yep. It can be a podcast, whatever. You just gotta have something to back it up. And on top of that, you gotta have, and then there goes knowledge. There's old school knowledge and there's new school knowledge, and that's what me and my co-hosts have right now. I have a bit of I have a small fraction of old school, but I have more of new school. And my co-host here, he has a big faction of old school and a good amount of new school. So, and that's what makes it so good about this podcast because he has old school and I have new school, and he teach me a lot, and he's teaching me a lot of new school stuff. I mean, old school stuff, and that's good because
you got to know your history. As a people,
you gotta know your history. So.
Anything in life comes to history, even down to knowing who you are as a person. Your race, your color, your this or that. If you don't know your history, it hurts you because then you don't understand and you can't build upon it. So right now, like even you, Aramis, you're building as a scholar of the game based on the knowledge that you're getting, and you have to know the past to be able to navigate even better in the future. Because you're still going to move in the future no matter what. Your life's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But it helps when you have history to put to it because then you can make different kind of decisions and then you can educate yourself differently because you have something to gauge it on.
Mm-hmm.
So for all you fans there, like I said, Moses Malone was the very first person in which we've got today, 1974, to ever come out of high school. And then look at the gap. So Aramis, look back at that list. Look at the gap from 1974 to the next person that was even able to do it. Let's just talk about who can do it. And a lot of it happened because the involvement of the game. Because remember, the NBA didn't have the 3-point shot. It wouldn't allow you to dunk. Remember, we had that and put that back in. It referred to season one.
Yep.
The ABA was a new league because they wanted to spice the game up. And I can't remember who founded the ABA, but when they had the ABA, they allowed you to dunk. It was more of a Showtime league, where the NBA was more cookie cutter, sort of say. It was based. You had to be this. You only could do these certain things. You couldn't showboat and all that stuff. And the ABA created a platform where it was more exciting. They had introduced the 3-point. They introduced dunking and different things like that for fans to be more entertained in the game. So then, when the NBA saw that, they big bank take little bank. They said it was a merger, but they said we're going to buy them out and implement that into the game. So the game kept evolving for it to be appeasing to the team. I mean, to the people. Because just think, even Wilt Chamberlain. Did you not? We all know who Wilt Chamberlain is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wilt Chamberlain he's the only player in the history of the league to score 100 points in one game. 100 points. And just think about
ain't that the one where there was no 3-point line? So
exactly,
so he was
100 points without no
layups
3-point line.
He had a 1-pointer, 2-pointers the whole game, and had 100 points. I'm like, what the hell? I'm
100
like,
points.
how you get 100 points? And then but then
That's true.
I was curious. Your boy did his research for the first time on old school people, and I was like, you know what? There was no 3-point line back then. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, no wonder why he got 100 points, because there was no 3-point line back then. So I was like, okay.
And the games wasn't longer. The game was probably about back then. The game you had a 1 hour game. You had 15-minute quarters. They cut it down to 12, but the league used to have 15-minute quarters. 15 minutes. College had 48. The NBA played 60-minute games, total minutes. College played 48, and then they cut it down because they brought the time down. So now you only play 12-minute quarters, but it used to be 15 back in the day. So just imagine with two 30-minute halves, a man scored 100 points. I mean, he was averaging 50 points at a half, 50 points in 30 minutes.
That's crazy. So
and it wasn't. And then listen to this. And let me just. And I'm gonna stop. Taking all the platform. I'm just trying to share information. The game didn't even go into overtime.
Hold the fuck up. Hold on, bro. I'm gonna look this up after we get off, man.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Is there a YouTube video on it? Hold on, let me see.
Well, yeah, look it up. Google it. Just do a quick fact check, because again, audience, please, I want you to understand where we at, and anybody, whenever you post this, if they're not live with us now, look up and fact check Wilt Chamberlain. He was the second. Well, I ain't gonna say the second, because at that time, the best center in the league was Bill Russell, and then those were the two rivals at the time, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. But Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in one game, and it didn't even go into overtime.
So Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points for the Philadelphia Warriors against the New York Knicks on March 2nd, 1962, in Hershey, Pennsylvania. This remains the NBA's single game scoring record and is considered one of the sport's greatest achievements. The game is famous for its lack of video footage, with only a partial radio broadcast and a few photos available as evidence. Game details: March 2nd, 1962, Warriors versus the Knicks. Final score was 169-147. He had 100 points. He was 36 for 63 for the field goal. He shot 20 out of 32, a remarkable 87.5% from the free throw line. For a player with a career of 51.1 average, and he had 25 rebounds.
Did you repeat those stats for the people again? I mean,
that's phenomenal, man. Hold on, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it again. Look, 100 points, field goals is he went 36 for 63. shot 28 for 32 from the free throw line, had an additional of 87.5% for a player with a career 51.1% average and 25 rebounds. That is impressive. I ain't even gonna lie.
And then let's break this out, Amos.
Uh-huh.
From the field, he was 37 for 63. What was the number you said from the field?
From the field, he was he was 36 for 63.
Okay, so let's stop. 36 for 63, and he still dropped 100. Do you know he could have easily that game scored another if he'd have been, and that's shooting 50%, a little over 50% from the field. So just imagine if he was shooting at a higher clip, he could have almost got 150 that game.
Mm.
And he scored 100 of his team's 169 points.
That just shows that we're probably not gonna have a player who's even close to getting a 100-point game. I don't think.
So what that means is that they was balling because it was an up and down game. It was a fast point game. It wasn't a half court set. They were just running and gunning the whole time because they still put up 169 points. That means that the defense was trash.
Oh yeah, so he was just giving boys buckets left and right. He was just he was just throwing that thing up and it was just going right in.
I mean, he scored 100 points shooting a little under 60% average from the field. Now, when he got to the free throw, he was 87%. He was money.
Mm.
So wait, let's take it back because if he missed some of those shots, he still went to the line and cleaned up on it. So maybe that might not be a fair rub because if you shoot and you get fouled and you miss and you shoot and you miss and you get fouled, that's still considered an attempt.
Yeah, because I'm like,
so he might have got fouled a whole bunch of those out of those 30 plus misses. He probably got fouled a lot of them, I would say.
Yeah, because and then like I just read it because he missed a majority of 36 out of the he went 36 for 63 from the field goal, so he must have missed a big few. And then for the free throw line, he shot 28 for 32. So he definitely
only missed 4 shots out of the free throw line. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So Emerson, we do because I got to get ready to go too, and we got to wrap this up. But this is great. This one went really, really good. But what I would like you to do is maybe one of these podcasts when we could get CP and everybody back on, you can do the research and we can do another clip to really solidify and let our viewers know who was Wilt Chamberlain, the great Hall of Famer, all NBA, so many all-time world champion Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay.
He played for Philly and the Lakers. So if you would like to do the research, then you can bring it in, or maybe you can bring it on a podcast where you can do all your fact checks and we can have a little segment on Wilt Chamberlain because the man was one of the greatest athletes to play. And he played baseball. Wilt Chamberlain played he was in the movies. He was one of the all-time
Wait. Wilt Chamberlain was in movies?
Yes. Look. I'm gonna be
quiet.
On, bro.
Hold on. I'm learning a lot today. Hold on. The video hasn't been an hour yet. I'm already learning. Hold on, man.
Yeah. Look at Wilt Chamberlain's career. He was more than just a basketball player, bro. He played other sports as well. Dominant.
Right now.
He was considered one of the greatest overall athletes in that era. And I'm not talking about just basketball. Look him up. When you take the time and look him up, I promise you can do a whole segue just on him, on his career. Look up Wilt Chamberlain's career overall, what he did.
You know what? Next Sunday, we're gonna do a segment about Wilt Chamberlain. I'm gonna take the time to do my research.
Well, we'll look on his bio right now, just real fast. Look at it real quick. It should show you some of the bullet points of his achievements.
Okay, so current highlights: NBA championship. He won two in 1967 and 1972. MVP awards. He won four: 1960, 1966, 1967, 1968. Finals MVP one 1972. All Star selections 13. All NBA selections 10, 7 first team, 3 second team. All defensive team selections 2, 1972 and 1973. Rookie of the year 1960.
And that's just NBA. So we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stop there. When you
Yep.
look up other things that Wilt Chamberlain participated in, you're gonna be amazed. I promise you. And that career right there is you can put almost up to any of the top. I mean, if you looked at his overall career, he would be almost, in my opinion, in the top 10 overall.
Okay.
I mean, top 10, top 12. I would seriously have to take a list of it, but I mean, I would base it on statistics.
Here's the thing. What we'll do is that we'll end it here because but we haven't got a chance to cover the rest of it. But we'll save that.
Yeah, we'll get CP
Um,
on next. We'll get CP on next Sunday.
yep. Yeah. We'll get. Hopefully we can get CP on next Sunday. And I'm sure CP has
So
stuff
wait,
for
wait,
me.
hold on, Amos, real fast.
Mhm.
Google Wilt Chamberlain's if he played in the movies and other things that he did besides basketball. Real fast. Don't run them all down, but I just want you to see
Yeah.
when you bring it in that he was that dominant in the whole arena of entertainment. So that's going to be a great segue for you to when you can bring all of the bullet points for the career of him outside of basketball. Not even basketball is just one entity of it. Let's just tell you how busy the man was. What other profession, sports did he play? Did he play in the movies? All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But right now, you're just looking at his basketball career, but the man had his hand in a lot, just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he changed his name because he went Muslim.
So besides the NBA, Will Chamberlain played professional volleyball in the International Volleyball Association. After his basketball career, he also played a season with the Harlem Globetrotters before joining NBA. Um, After retiring basketball in 1973, then that's when he did volleyball, and he was part of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as movies, I don't know. It didn't say anything as far as the movies. I mean, I'll probably have to look it up.
Okay, but we gonna stop there. I'm
Yep.
just trying to show you how dominant and athletic this man was. So I'll give you a chance to really dig in, and you can do your whole 5 minute or 10 minute segue just on Wilt Chamberlain, so you can understand what kind of athlete this was. That the world hadn't seen an athlete like him until he came. He
Okay.
knew karate, kung fu. He was mad. Yo, listen, every him and Kareem, because Kareem even played in. Kareem was a third degree or fifth degree black belt.
Damn.
Yeah, look, Kareem. Listen, Kareem and Wilt Chamberlain were the first two iconic athletes, and you could probably do a segue on a little bit of both of them. If you want to look up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he actually played in a movie with the great Bruce Lee. He had a fighting scene with him.
You said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's movie?
Yes, look it up. Look it up real fast right now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Bruce Lee, and was in the movie. I forget the name of the movie, but here's a basketball player,
Was it
seven
Game
foot.
of Death?
I think something dragon or something, Enter the Dragon, something. But look it up. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and one of the greatest martial arts of all time was Bruce Lee. I don't know if you guys know that, but Bruce Lee was one of the greatest martial arts of all time. He came up,
Oh
he
yeah,
invented his
I
own
found it.
style.
Yeah, I found it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar appeared in Bruce Lee's unfinished film Game of Death. The two friends filmed an iconic fight scene for the movie in 1972, but Bruce Lee died before it was completed. The film was finished by the studio and released in 1978, years after Lee's death. Kareem's role played one of the martial artist masters, Hakeem the Mantis, that Lee's character had to fight as he ascended. I feel like I've seen this movie.
So again, here's another iconic world. Listen, Kareem had the title for score, and listen, and he went to college and played 4 years at UCLA and won 4 championships, with 3 or 4 championships with UCLA, and still went to the NBA and played for another 20 something years and had the scoring title. Plus, he was in movies and all of that.
How tall he is.
Listen, we gotta go. I'm giving you
Hold
too
on.
much time.
Hold on. Next Sunday. No. Next Sunday. Part 2. Part 2 next Sunday.
So, Aaron, I want you to go back and do your research on the 2 iconic athletes of the era that introduced all of these athletes. Now they were probably more iconic than all of them as overall. Now we're talking about basketball, just one hat. And what else have you done? And these 2 players probably have done more than anybody in the history of athletes. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain. Look them up. And if you can find the fight scene, and look it up, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a black belt in karate. Look up the fight scene. Maybe you can play the fight scene. You can throw a clip up and you can see it and revisit it. But if you could do a recap on those 2 next week, let that be a segment just so we can touch on them too, because we talk to them for about an hour, just them 2 alone. And those are athletes that paved the way for Lebrons and Jordans of today.
Okay.
And this thing, that was when big man was king. Now you got guards and all of that shit. Back in the day, if you was the biggest dude on the court, you was the most dominant player. That's why Shaq came in and was like, I'm gonna bring back the big man. Because back then, you had some of the small players which were good, but if you were big and athletic like a big man like that, you were it. Not Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm gonna just leave it like that, and then you can come back next week, and I want you to do some research on them so you can do your segue on them.
Okay.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fought the greatest kung fu man in the world.
All right, but all right, yeah. We'll make a segment about that joint next Friday. Next Sunday as a part 2. I'll put the title part 2, and then and then if you got a question about why it's saying part 2, go watch my last video I did last Sunday, and then you'll understand why we said part 2 for this video. So, but make sure y'all pay attention to as far as the videos that I put out, because if y'all comment and being like, oh well, why is it saying part 2? What's the actual title of it? Well, if you had watched the latest video that I put out there, you understand, okay, this is what led to being in part 2. So, but we gotta wrap it up because a few of us, both of us got things we gotta do. My co got things he gotta do. So we'll wrap it up shortly. If you guys liked the live stream podcast of the Advanced for Knowledge, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, put on post notifications bell so you can get every live recorded video that I put out there. We are back, season 2. If you were here for season 1, thank you for love and support. Thank you for the communication with me. If you guys got any questions going into the season 2, please hit me up on air_DemonKing on Instagram. That's where I post all my podcast clips on there. On TikTok, it is Basil for Knowledge on TikTok. DM me on TikTok, and then just ask questions. What are the next upcoming ideas going for season 2? I will let you know what's going on with
I got a few shout outs, but I'll do that after I get my co-host out here. I'll do a few after that. But with all being said, this has been a Basketball for Knowledge. I'm your co-host Aramis.
I'm Ray Daniels.
Y'all, man, I hope you have a blessed day today.
Go Bills, go Bills.
Go Bills. Bills play tomorrow at what?
8 o'clock, 8:20.
8:20 tomorrow.
And the A, they playing in the A. The city in Atlanta going crazy right now. Bills, Atlanta, boy, it's crazy.
If you guys have taken the time to get off of football and go watch the preseason of the basketball, I've caught a few games of the NBA so far as preseason. Cooper Fly looking really good so far. We're gonna get into that shortly. Talk about his performance in preseason with the Mavs. See how that's going on, but don't worry, we are back. The NBA is back. We got more to go around. We will cover as much as we can as possible. But stay tuned for next Sunday. We'll be talking about the history of Will Chamberlain, and we may throw a little bit of a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there a little bit. I might spice things up. Add a little to conversation, and hopefully we got more time. But yeah, man. All right, you guys. I will see y'all next Sunday. At what time?
Same time, 11:30.
Same time. Okay, so same time, 11:30, and then I hope to see y'all there. All right, I love y'all. Peace.
Peace.
We out.